الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, tonight يوم الجمعة ليلة السبت the 7th بإذن الله تعالى محرم 1425 Hijri, in accordance with Friday 27th of February 2004. We are still studying, alhamdulillah, the work of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, his risala that he wrote to the Aqidah, and he was requested to do so by a judge from the people of Wasit, entitled Aqidah Wasittiyah. It being explained by Shaykh Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin rahimahullah rahmatun wasi'ah. Where we left off was Ayatul Kursi. Now, just for the sake of reminding ourselves, does anyone recall why it's called Ayatul Kursi? At the throne. We corrected that. Yeah, of course. But why is it called Ayatul Kursi? Alright. It's called Ayatul Kursi because it has mentioned in it Al-Kursi. And the Kursi is the what? Footstool of Allah Ta'ala. This is based upon the narration of Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. Jayyid, and go back to what you were saying. It is the greatest ayah in the book of Allah, based upon a hadith of course it's from the Prophet. It wouldn't be a hadith without that. But I mean the Sahabi who mentioned it, if you can recall. You don't want to put any pressure on you. And the kunya that he used when the Prophet hit him upon the chest. Uwais ibn Ka'b, his kunya. It's in the hadith, we mentioned it, that's why I'm asking. I'm not asking you of anything that you didn't hear already. Abu Mundir. And what did he say about him? Like, man, the knowledge would be made easy for you, or I knew that you would have this knowledge. In agreement with what he, basically, in agreement with what Abu Mundir had stated. And he knew this not from the Prophet ﷺ directly, but from his what? His knowledge of the book of Allah Ta'ala. He was able to understand that this was the greatest ayah in Quran, which is ayah 255, by the way. Okay. Now, we took some things, and I'm not going to go very long with this review because we covered most of it. But just so those who may not have attended before can have some knowledge regarding it. And in this surah, or this ayah, he said something about it, Ibn Taymiyyah, about some ayat or parts of Quran can be preferred to other parts. Some parts of Quran can be more favored than other parts. And he gave a reason as to why. He gave a few reasons, but I'm not asking for all of them. He's not talking about the one who, in the fact that they come from Allah, because all of it comes from Allah. Mutakallim bihi, the one who spoke it is Allah. They are His words. So from that standpoint, they're all the same. But from the standpoint of what? Anybody recalls? On your heart, because it deals with the akhirah and like this. You recall this? You mean sifat al-nafi? Yeah. Right, affirmation negation. Why does he Why does he negate or deny anything? What's the purpose behind it? No, what's the purpose behind it? Why does he and Allah Ta'ala mention, you opened the door, I didn't. Why Allah Ta'ala and he nullifies something or denies from himself something. What does he intend by it? Greatness. Because, when you compare, it's not comparative, because we took this, right? That don't you, as the poet said, don't you see that the sword loses its splendor when you say that the sword is more brilliant than the stick? Of course it's supposed to be more brilliant than the stick, right? This is not the issue. But he means through it to affirm something great and perfect for himself. And where has he done that in this surah? Several places. But amongst them, لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Why he said لا تأخذه? It doesn't take him, overtake him. Why does he say that? That's sinner, no doubt. That drowsiness before sleep is called slumber. And that is sinatun. Then that which comes after that is known. Now, it says, لا تأخذه. Because if you just said known by itself, it'd be, you can do the ikhtiyar, by choice, you can sleep. Right? Most of our brothers, or many of our brothers come to class, but by choice they sleep. They choose to. But the point of the matter is whereas the term in Arabic, when you take something, like he's overtaken by it. And this is what happens to us. Many times we're overtaken by sleep, whether we want to or not. Give me driving a car. No matter what we're doing, takes us. This does not, alaykum salam, this does not happen to Allah Ta'ala whatsoever. Okay, this is a nafi, like the brother said. This is something he denied from himself. What is he trying to affirm? Those two qualities. Al-Hayy is what? The all-living. The one whose life is such that it was what? Never preceded by non-existence. And never will it end. Allah Ta'ala is living, has always lived, and will always live. Al-Qayyum, sustainer, maintainer, right? The one who is free of all wants, who is rich and is not in need of anyone, but everything and everyone is what? In need of him. Everyone else besides him is creation. And the creatures are in need of their creator. And they are being sustained and existing and allowed to exist by his permission and his assistance and his help and like this. So to prove or to confirm this, what is called ta'qeed, he said, لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. This proves that he's what? Al-Hayy al-Qayyum. Without doubt. Jayyid, this is some of what we took. Next, we got to I thought we stopped لا يؤوده حفظهما. على كل حال, since you are in the mood for tafsir, we continue. What's next, Abu Najma? No. What's next in tartib, in order of the ayah? From what we took. Al-Hayy al-Qayyum. I have to recite it myself now. No, we took that. Allahu ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard. Huh? Eish? You whispering or what? I see the lips moving and I don't hear anything. من ذا الذي يشفع. Okay, before we get there. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. This is what? Mulk. Mulk. Ownership. Ownership of what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. How many heavens? 7. How many earths? 7. What's the dalil in the Quran? Oh no, don't start. We took it though. The Quran indicates it's 7, and the Sunnah says it's straightforward. Quran says Allah Ta'ala created the what? Heavens and the earth, and the number of earths mithlahunna, over the earth mithlahunna, similar to it. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. What's in the samawat? The angels, the Jannah, all of that. وما في الأرض. What's in the 7 earths? All of this belongs to Allah Ta'ala. Yarhamakallah. And he said something, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, very strong here. He said that it showed mulk, ownership, and it showed sulta, authority. Because the mulk of Allah Ta'ala was without mu'arid, without anyone to argue with him about it, debate with him about it. And I gave the example, if I take this bottle in his mind, that's mulk. And someone comes and pulls it from me or takes it from me or tries to, that's mu'arid. But Allah Ta'ala doesn't even have anyone or anything to be mu'arid. Mulk tam, complete ownership, no discussion. Complete sulta, authority. No one questions it. No one can go against it. No one can go outside of it. No one can get around it. It's very important to understand. Very important to understand. له ملك السماوات والأرض. And we are proud of that, what he owns. Allah yamlikuna. Allah owns us. Lock, stock, and barrel. From the hair on our chinny chin chin. Any hair that you can find on your skull, for some of us we can't find any. To our toes, to the sole between our within our bodies, everything is owned. Every eyelash, every fingernail. Allah Ta'ala owns it. Complete authority. Complete authority. Mulk tam. We took it in our lectures on Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Na'am. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. That's where we at. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. What is shafa'ah? We took where it came in the language, and we took what it means. Yeah, of course, it's intercession. But it comes from what in the Arabic language? It means to take something that's odd and make it even. In the Shar that we took, he explains it. It is where you intercede on the behalf of someone to what? Jalb al-manfa', to bring about a benefit or to remove a harm. And if intercession is made so that one who's in a hellfire comes from the hellfire to paradise, that's to what? To remove a harm. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam shafa'ah for all of the people of the dunya, just so that the Qiyamah can get started, is to remove a harm. So that the doors of paradise can be open for the people of Jannah is to what? Achieve a benefit. This is shafa'ah. And shafa'ah, which you'll go in more detail, I guess, in other places, won't happen except with some conditions. Because if Shafa'ah, intercession, took place whether Allah Ta'ala wanted it or not, then that is transgression upon His sovereignty, His rulership, and His power, and His lordship. You know, like someone's going to plea bargain with Allah Ta'ala whether He wants to hear this or not. I don't speak on behalf of this one here. You got to, no, none of that. La abadan. Shafa'at has to be what? What does the ayah says? عِنْدُهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. No one intercedes with Him except by His permission. Permission. And we took this matter Yahamakallah, that this lahu ma fi samawati, for Him is all that is in the heavens, wa fil ard, then followed up with man dhal ladhi yashfahu indahu illa bi'idhni, is showing that this mulk, this ownership, is particular of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that we said it's mulk tam, complete ownership. Bima'na, with the meaning that no one is able and yatasarraf. No one is able to make not one move in the dominion of Allah Ta'ala and the sovereignty of Allah Ta'ala. Wala bi shafa'a even. They're not even able to do intercession, which is something good. So under the rulership of Allah Ta'ala, the mulk of Allah Ta'ala, the ownership of Allah Ta'ala, which is the true ownership, and the true rulership, even doing that which is good is not to be done without His permission. And we're talking in this case with shafa'ah. Illa bi'idhnillah, except by the permission of Allah. This is from the totality of His lordship, the totality of His rulership, and the totality and completeness of His authority, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Idhin, we took idhin. Idhin is what? It's an advertisement. It's an announcement. It's a proclamation. That's what it is. It's an agreement or permission, and it's a proclamation. He took that from this ayah in Surah Tawbah, verse 3. Right? Where Allah Ta'ala, the Messenger, proclaims that what? That after this year, the mushriks are not going to be able to approach the Kaaba, right? Right? So this is a proclamation. Proclamation. Yani wa adhanu min Allahi wa rasulah. And you can take that from adhan also. You can understand that as a call, proclamation, announcement like this. Bi'idhnihi. The other condition is that He be radiyan. That He be pleased. Pleased with the one doing the intercession to allow him to intercede. And plead for the one who's being interceded for. And that means that he has the characteristic that each one who's being interceded for must have, and that is that he be upon tawheed. Be a believer. The mushrik cannot be interceded for. The question came, brother asked, well, what about the one, the shaheed, who dies in the path of Allah Ta'ala and is killed? And of course, if he dies in the path of Allah, he had to be killed. And he fought in the path of Allah and he was killed. He intercedes for 70 of his family. All of us know this narration. How many of us read and said, MashaAllah, if I can do this, then jihad, right? I got everybody together, basically. The point is that those people have to be believers. They have to be, alaykum salam, muwahideen. They have to be upon tawheed. Because that's the only one who Allah Ta'ala will be pleased with, or pleased to allow someone to make intercession for, is that he be a sahib tawheed, person of tawheed, a muwahid. So this is very important to understand. And the permission of Allah Ta'ala. And he said some ayat mention these conditions, all three together. And he brought the ayah, وَكَمْ مِن مَلَكٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا تُقْنِي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا. How many angels in the heavens that their intercession will not benefit at all إِلَّا مِن بَعْدِ أَنْ يَأْذَنَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَرْضَى. Until Allah Ta'ala permits intercession be done for those who He please, who He wills and is pleased with. Surah Al-Najm, verse 26. يَرْضَى عَنَ الشَّافِي وَالْمَشْفُوءَ لَهُ. Is pleased with the one interceding and the one whose intercession is done for. And we explained that it's not in the sense that He's pleased with the one whose intercession is being done for, in the sense that He's pleased with him to such a degree. Because you say, well, what does He need shafa'ah for if He's pleased with him? Right? He wouldn't need intercession if He's pleased with him. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, my shafa'ah, my intercession, is for those who do the kaba'ir, who commit the major sins of my ummah. And this is very important to understand, because I heard someone in this area, matter of fact, it's no harm in this case to mention his name, that Sheikh Ismail had said in one khutbah in Branford Place, that the shafa'ah, the intercession, is for those, not for those who commit major sins, only for those who commit minor sins. This goes directly against the narration in this regard, that the shafa'ah, the intercession of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is from those who commit what? The major sins, the kaba'ir. And it's some benefit to mention it, because some people might not even touch this Aqidah tape unless we mention something like that. Now they have a reason to listen to it. So in this regard, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is the case. Yani that the shafa'ah, they commit a kabira, they commit a major sin. The one who commits a major sin, Allah Ta'ala will allow him to be made intercession for that person. As long as that person is muwahid, he has at least, when the narrations say, an atom's weight of iman, is tawheed, believes in the oneness of Allah Ta'ala. Believes in the oneness of Allah Ta'ala. So this is how the shafa'ah is. What is the other point? That's coming next. But I'm glad that you mentioned it. Haqiqatan. We would not have, I might have missed it. Someone may say, what is the shafa'ah for? If Allah Ta'ala already knows that the one who intercession is being done for is going to be saved. And Allah already knows He's going to rescue him. He's going to place him in the Jannah. In this case, the shafa'ah that says that shafa'ah is to show the honor that Allah Ta'ala has for the one who's interceding. That He honors them, and that He wants them to be in a position, as for the Prophet ﷺ, al-maqam al-mahmud, the praiseworthy station or position. So it's out of honor for that person. In other words, that Allah Ta'ala places that individual in that position to show what? That He honors him. That He honors him. Even though, as we know, Allah Ta'ala can place in the paradise who He wants to place in paradise without any intercession. Can bring out of the hellfire who He wants to bring out of the hellfire without any intercession. Can commence the day of the qiyamah and the judgment of the people without any intercession. But it's to show honor for the what? The one who is interceding. Can take the 70 members of the person who dies in the path of Allah, the shaheed, who dies in the path of Allah genuinely, and put them in the Jannah without the intercession of the one who fought in the path of Allah. But He does so to what? Honor him. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ. He knows what is before them, meaning the mustaqbil, the future. And knows what is behind them, meaning the madi, the past. And he made a nice statement here. He says, this ma here, وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ, is in Arabic sigh al-umum, when you want to generalize something. And everything, right? That which is before them and that which is behind them. Yani al-mustaqbil, the future, al-madi, the past. Tashmil kulli madin, includes everything of the past. Wa kulli mustaqbil, everything of the future. And also includes also that which is from the actions of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, and that which is from the actions of the creatures. And what He subhanahu wa ta'ala will do, and what He subhanahu wa ta'ala has done, and what the creatures will do and what the creatures have done. Ilm. Allahu Akbar. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. And they won't be able to encompass anything of his knowledge except with what he wills. And we took that, what he chooses to tell them regarding himself, regarding his qualities. And that we won't know except what Allah Ta'ala tells us. And Allah Ta'ala has told us kathiran, a lot, much, variety, great amount of things. But it, which he has told us in relationship to what Allah knows, qaleel, small amount, cannot even really be mentioned. As Allah Ta'ala says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ, they ask you about the soul. قُلُ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ, the ruh is from the soul is from the spirit of my Lord. وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا, and you have not been given knowledge of it except a little. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, his footstool encompasses the heavens and the earth. We took this. And that the footstool encompasses the heavens, the seven heavens and the seven earth. That means the footstool is bigger than the seven heavens and the seven earth. Otherwise it cannot encompass them. Wal kursi, which we're talking about, the kursi, the footstool, is the place of the feet of Allah Azza wa Jal, mawdi qadamay. And it's not the arsh. It's not the throne. The throne is larger. The throne is greater. The throne is more magnificent. And we took this. It's greater than the footstool. The seven heavens and the seven earths, in relation to the footstool, is like a ring that you threw in the middle of the earth and in the middle of the desert. And the superiority of the throne over the footstool is like the superiority of that area of the earth over that ring. Over that ring. I mean, I got security, but some things you got to do for yourself, right? You never know. This shows the greatness of the makhluqat, the creatures. So what about, if that's the greatness of the makhluqat, the greatness of the makhluqat, the creatures, is an evidence of the greatness of what? Of who? The Creator. Can you imagine that? Imagine throwing a ring in the middle of a desert. That's the seven heavens and the seven earths in relationship to the footstool. And that's the relationship of the footstool to the arsh. Footstool in that case will be the ring, and the arsh will be that open desert. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. قَوْلُهُ وَلَا يَعُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. And in that, he is not in burden, it is not heavy upon him, the preservation of the heavens and the earth. It's not difficult for him. It's not hard for him. It's not weighty upon Allah Ta'ala to preserve the heavens and the earth. And this once again is, as a brother likes, a sifat al-manfiyya. This quality that has been denied. And what quality is Allah Ta'ala affirming here behind that denial? He says, the Kemal al-Qudra, the perfect and complete power, wal-ilm, knowledge, wal-quwwah, strength, wal-rahmah, mercy. All those is included in this. And by denying, and in fact, by rejecting and negating, saying that it's not heavy upon him, it's not a burden upon him to preserve the heavens and the earth, he is affirming these great qualities: total qudra, ability; total ilm, knowledge; total quwwah, strength; total rahmah, mercy. وَقَوْلُوا وَهُوَ عَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. You like that quality. Ali. هُوَ عَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. He's the highest, the greatest. Al-Aliyu is upon the wazn, upon the scale in Arabic, fa'il. It means the uluhu, the highness of Allah Azza wa Jal. Lazim li dhatihi. It is a necessary quality of the essence of Allah that He is high, above everything. This is very important to understand. Ulu illah is a quality that's never disconnected from Allah. He's always, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a state of ulu, in a state of highness, above everything. Ulu of that, the ulu of Himself, highness of Himself. Laysa fawqahu shay. There's never, nor will there ever be, nor has there ever been, anything above Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Laysa fawqahu shay. Laysa fawqahu shay. Not sama, not this, not that, not atmosphere. They lie on our Sheikh Fawzi. Someone came and asked him, well, what's above Allah? He said, nothing. And he walked off. Guy said, he just said like space was above him. Spread this all over the dunya. No. Sheikh wouldn't say nothing that stupid. Nothing is above Allah. Tabaraka wa ta'ala. Laysa fawqahu shay. And nothing is equal to Allah Tabaraka wa ta'ala. Nothing's at the same level with Allah Tabaraka wa ta'ala. That's ulu of that. Or ulu of sifat. The highness and superiority of His qualities. And this is stated by Allah Tabaraka wa ta'ala when He says, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. And for Allah Tabaraka wa ta'ala is the highest example. Surah An-Nahl verse 60. يعني إن صفاته كله عليا. يعني all the qualities of Allah are high, are superior. ليس فيها نقص. Brother, they don't have any deficiency. بوجه من الوجوه. From any aspect, from any direction, in any way. أما العظيم, the greatest. فهي أيضا صفة. That's the benefit of doing it between Maghrib and Isha. It lets you know when to stop, When I was doing them after Isha, brothers keep me here all night. Another dars after the dars. Allah. We don't have to stop further than. We may do it sometimes we may not. In the sense that I want the brothers to think, you have to stop further than. But I mean, benefit if one wants to repeat at the mu'adhin, this is something good. Because most of us don't get a chance to hear the adhan that often unless we're at the masjid. Unless we have those who believe in the wujub of calling adhan even when you're by yourself. Then that's another factor. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد. كانت تامة والصلاة القائمة. بالله رب المسلمين. نعم. العظيم. العظمة. Greatness. We're going to finish the ayah at least, inshallah. Greatness. And greatness here is connected with al-quwwah, or included in it al-quwwah, power and strength, wa kibriyah, arrogance, and proudness. All that is when you say azim. So no one can just walk around talking about, I'm azim, Unless you like by Yazid. Abu Yazid Bustami, if you recall him. Yeah. Glory be to me, how great I am. Remember that fool? Subhana ma'azam shani. What I mean, that's a Sufi. So what do you expect? He just went down, he just beat himself and went down in the basement and placed a hood over his eyes and kept saying some words that he didn't understand. Something reached out and touched him and he thought he was great. This ayah, Ayatul Kursi, has in it 5 names of Allah Ta'ala. I may ask you this. Pay attention. Tayab Sabur. Intabi. 5 names. And they are Allah, Al-Hayyu, Al-Qayyum, Al-Ali, or Al-Aliyu if you want to say it that way, Al-Azim. Those are the 5 names contained in what? Ayatul Kursi. And what else are we talking about? What are we talking about? Pancakes? We're talking about Ayatul Kursi. They include also 26 qualities of Allah. Allahu Akbar. One ayah. 26 qualities of Allah. The 5 that we just mentioned are the names, because the names includes qualities. 6th one would be the fact that Allah Ta'ala is excluded, and specific to Him, the fact that He alone should be worshipped. Al-Uluhiyyah. Where does that take from? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. Allah, none has the right to be worshipped except Him, this Uluhiyyah. 7th, intifa' as-sana wal-nawm fi haqqih. Denying that He has slumber or sleep. Likimal, because the perfection of what? Of His life and His quyumiyyah. Quyumiyyatih, which means His sustaining, maintaining Himself and all creation. 8th, umum mulkih. The general and totality of His rulership and ownership. لقوله, based on the statement, له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. To Him belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is upon earth, or all that is in the earth. 9th matter, that He alone subhanahu wa ta'ala singled out for mulk, for this ownership. We take that from the Arabic fact that usually it's mubtada and khabar. But here the khabar was placed in front. So you understand from that this is something exclusive to Allah Ta'ala. 10th point, quwwat al-sultan, the strength and power of His authority, wa kamal, and His perfection. Liqawla, based upon the statement, man dha alladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'idhnih. Who is it that can intercede with Him except by His permission? Or except after His permission. 11th, Isbat al-Indiyah. The fact that He says, Man dha alladhi yashfa'u, who is that can what? To intercede with Him. In Arabic, ind here means you're somewhere. So He can't be every makan, every place. But He is a specific. And this is a rad ala hululiyya. Those who say that Allah is everywhere in every place. This which Ibn Taymiyyah is bringing, in which we will of course be amazed and astonished, is what you can find Ibn Taymiyyah doing throughout the whole Quran. Pulling those ayat and extracting those matters from the ayat that deal with the oneness of Allah Ta'ala and the qualities of Allah Ta'ala. And if we're good students and we learn about these issues correctly, this was something that we will do, and it will be part of what we are ordered to do when we make reflect upon the Quran in this way. course, we don't have the time to go through all of them. We'll be doing that, inshallah ta'ala, on Wednesday. But we'll finish up, inshallah ta'ala, with maybe the 15th or the 25th here that we have here. Should we do, that, inshallah ta'ala. So, after that he says, إثبات الإذن من قوله. Affirmation that Allah ta'ala, confirming the fact that Allah permits, and He gives permission. And because it says, إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. These are sifat, these are qualities. You can't just walk by them, act like we didn't read them. This is Allah telling us about Himself. 13th, عموم العلم, the generality of the knowledge of Allah. لقوله, based on the statement, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. He knows what is before them and what is behind them, and the future and the past. And of course, their present state. 14th and 15th, that Allah tabarak ta'ala la yansa ma mada. He doesn't forget what happened in the past. Because He said, وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. وَلَا يَجْحَلْ مَا يَسْتَقْبِلْ. And He's not ignorant of what will be the future. Because He says, مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِ. 16th matter, the perfection and the greatness of Allah tabarak ta'ala. The perfection of the greatness of Allah tabarak ta'ala. Because the inability of the creatures to encompass Him. Not able to encompass His knowledge, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not able to encompass Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِهِ عِلْمًا, when ayah says, you won't be able to encompass Him with your knowledge. Inability to do so shows how great He is, subhanahu wa ta'ala. 17th matter, إثبات المشيئة. Affirmation that Allah ta'ala wills. Confirming that Allah wills, because He said, إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. Except what He wills. 18th matter, إثبات الكرسي. An affirmation, a confirmation that Allah has a footstool. Al-Kursi, وهو موضع قدميه. The Kursi, which is the place of Allah Ta'ala's feet. تاسع عشرة, 19th matter. وعشرون, the 20th matter. والحادية والعشرون. I don't know if I messed that up, brother's going to say, what? What did he say? والحادية والعشرون. والحادية والعشرون. يعني the 21st matter. إثبات أزمة الوقوة. An affirmation of the greatness of Allah and His power and strength. وقدرة, ability. Based upon the statement, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. His footstool encompasses the heavens and the earth. Because the greatness of the creature is evidence of the greatness of the Creator. الثانية والثالثة والرابع والعشرون. And in the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th is the perfection and completeness of His knowledge and His mercy and His guarding and protecting and taking care of the creatures based upon the statement, وَلَا يَعُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. And He's not tired or it's not heavy upon Him, does not weigh upon Him the preservation of them, and the heavens and the earth and all that is in them. 25th, lastly, إثبات علو الله. An affirmation of the highness of Allah, that Allah is above everything. لقوله, based upon that last part of the ayah. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ. وَهُوَ عَلِيُّ. He is the highest. And the position of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the people of Sunnah and those who gather upon it, is that Allah Ta'ala, عَالٍ بِذَاتِهِ, is high and above His actual self, or as Musa Richardson translated, His actual person. من صفات الذاتية الأزلية الأبدية. That the highness of Allah Ta'ala is a quality of Allah that is part of Himself, and it is since, if you can say it that way, since forever, and it is forever, or since ever, forever. And there are two groups that differ with Ahlul Sunnah in this regard. And this is where you see, whenever we bring that which is solid and sound and firm and accurate and correct and genuine and positive and nice and pleasing, and, any other words you got? Regarding the Aqidah, which gives us foundation, then we also have to make tahdhir and warn against the innovations and people who have transgressed the boundary and has attacked or belittled or disregarded this Aqidah. We'll do so, and the Sheikh will do so, inshallah ta'ala, dealing a little bit with those who have rejected the highness and the superiority of Allah ta'ala and the fact of Allah being above everything in general and His throne in particular. Next time, inshallah ta'ala, if Allah spares us when we meet, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد. MashaAllah. Question? No. Where do you get that? See, this is how rumor starts. Huh?
I'm letting you know, warn you before I come back there, you get cut out.
Now you've disturbed my daughter, so now you're going to ask questions and connect to me something I didn't say. It's not permissible call. I said those who believe that it's obligatory to call adhan even when you're by yourself. Huh? You get the point? It says that when you're by yourself or when you start your salat, because you remember the man came in the masjid and he wasn't fooling around with whatever you was fooling around behind me, but he came in the masjid and he made his salah and he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Salaam alaikum. The Prophet ﷺ said, Wa alaikum salam. Pray. Go pray, for you haven't prayed. So he did it again. He made his salah and came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Salaam alaikum. The Prophet ﷺ said, Wa alaikum salam. Irja fasalli finaka lan tusalli. Go back and pray. You didn't pray. So he went again. Make an effort. Prayed again and came back to the Prophet ﷺ. Salaam alaikum. Prophet ﷺ. Wa alaikum salam. Go back and pray. You didn't pray. He said, oh, Messenger of Allah, I don't know better than this. So then the Prophet ﷺ described to him how you pray. And there's different narrations on it. One narration that Sheikh Nasser brings is that you call adhan. And it's to believe that everything that was mentioned in that particular hadith is something that is obligatory. So based upon this, it says adhan, call adhan. So he took that position. But there are others who, and this is what I recall, he may have changed it, Allahu Alam, because Sheikh Nasser changed some of his viewpoints. Just like other A'immah have changed some of their viewpoints. They have one qawl, one statement at one time, another statement. This happened particularly with Imam Shafi, rahimahullah. Imam Shafi had a lot of statements that people took from him, whatever. And then he went to Egypt for a period of time and came back. This when Egypt was okay? No. Anyway, he came back and he had a lot of different opinions. Sound good opinions, inshallah. And so they call it Shafi Qadim wa Shafi Jadid. The old Shafi and the new Shafi. See, this is a fiqh class now we're getting into. But anyway, ala kulli halin, they changed their positions. So I'm just saying that was what I recall him to have said, and if I'm wrong, then the mistake is from me. So if a brother is alone, and whether he considers wajib, or whether he considers mustahab, or whatever he considers to be, and he calls adhan, then so be it. Then he's able to, recall those matters that he's saying. But if he doesn't call adhan at home, then the only time he's probably going to hear adhan is when he comes to the masjid, right? And then he can hear it and he can repeat it like that. So that's what I meant. I didn't say anything about impermissibility though. Wa yaqum Allah barak fikum. At least you had a question off the subject, but what's the question? Anybody got anything upon the subject? Because we're studying Aqidah, barakallahu fikum. Na'am. Huh? عالٍ بذاته. See, now this is an Arabic class. We get everything here. Yani high and superior himself, the actual self of Allah. Or it's like I said, Musa translates, a person. Na'am. Kibr, it comes from kibr. So you guys know about kibr. Walk with it, prayed behind it 8 years. Any other questions? ما في شيء. خير وهذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد.